Hello traders, this is Day Trader Matt with businesswithtrading.com doing an E-mini trading room recap for Friday the 11th of October. And today was another good day in the markets, and we were able to make some very nice trades. Two trades for 8.5 points. So very nice into the week. Our first trade came right around here. We were long, and we were able to take profits into this strength. Then we, kind of watched price kind of chop around a little bit, move sideways. We did get long again over here, and we followed price up a little bit. We did take profits into this move here. Price did start to move lower and then sideways, and then it actually did take off. So, it is what it is. You're not going to be part of every single move. And, as a trader, you have to be okay with that. You're gonna make some trades, like 8.5 points we made. Let's say you doubled the contracts that we used in the room, or tripled or quadrupled. You're definitely going to make some money, and that's, I think, the key to trading. You get your style down, get everything down like that, and then once you're making consistent profits, you just add to your contract size. And that's one thing that the ES does provide. The ES is very liquid. So if you're trading 20, 30, 40 contracts, it's not a big deal. Whereas other markets, size is an issue. Certain stocks you can't trade size. And the ES I like the best because it does have a lot of advantages. You have a lot of different tools that you can use for the ES. When you can't do that for, say, stocks or other things like that, currencies, commodities. The ES is a different animal, and that's one reason why I do day trade it. But anyway, not to get too hung up on that. Taking 8.5 points out today, we only made a couple points over, yesterday and the day before. And, that consistency is really what I'm after. You make a couple points here, a couple points there, and then one day you make 8 points or 20 points. It definitely does make it better when you're hitting that consistent profitability, whether it's 1 point here, 1 point there, and then 5 points here, and then 2 points and 1 point. As long as you're hitting that consistency, that's the main goal, really. And that's what I try to get through in the trading room and the courses and stuff like that, is that consistency. And it's definitely takes time to develop. It's not gonna one day you read something, the next day boom, you're profitable, or you sit in a trading room for a day and then all of a sudden you're profitable. It's something that definitely takes time, with like becoming a brain surgeon, or becoming a neurosurgeon, or an astronaut. It takes a while to build up to be able to do those things. Whereas fishing, you can probably learn it in a couple minutes and then go fishing. And trading is definitely not like fishing at all. It's more like being a brain surgeon, and that's what I really try to beat home in the trading room and in the courses and everything. It takes time, and it definitely is something. It is worth it, but it is something that is going to take time. And I do see a lot of people come in with unrealistic expectations. I've been in the trading room for 2 weeks. I'm not consistently profitable. That's not going to happen anywhere. And you really do have to be realistic. Trading is something you have to devote time to, but you have to devote time to in the right areas. I've met people who've been in the industry trying to learn how to trade for many years. I'm talking like 4, 6, 7, 10 years, and they're not profitable. And they're devoting time in the wrong areas. And the only real way to help them is to actually delve into everything they've been doing. And if you devote that much time to the wrong areas, you've definitely developed some bad habits. And changing those is definitely something that takes even more time. Whereas if you're new to trading, if you've never traded before, you're going to be able to pick up things faster than someone who has built those bad habits. So anyway, I wanted to talk about that a little bit. Talked about basically the road to consistency, and hopefully you got something out of it. Hopefully it made sense to you. You can always leave comments below, or you can also email me directly, support@abusinesswithtrading.com. With that, thanks for listening to the video. Have an awesome rest of your day. Have a great weekend, and I'll see you back here next week in the markets. Thank you.